Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. I wonder if you'll be able to hear me because it's loud out here right next to a car wash. But therapy session went very well with Lydia, man. I enjoyed sitting there with her. She brought out some cards, kind of, you know, gauge your mood type of stuff. Excuse me. And I thought it was really good. I thought that was really a way to kind of center the feelings that you're feeling that day, whatever it may be, specifically in that moment. So I pulled out two cards. One of them said grateful, the other one said longing. Essentially, I was able to explain to her what was going on. And then we talked about what the issue is for me in regards to overcoming my own desires, or non-desires, I guess you could say, for like working and stuff like that, what gets in the way. And she made me name it. And she asked me if it had a body to it. Did it look like a person? I'm like, no, that's not how that works. It's more of anxiety more than anything else. But we named it. I called it the enemy, you know, just to center it all into something that made a little sense to me. And so that's really what it was for me. I was able to name it. And so she gave me a challenge to look for a job, but then I explained to her what's in the way, which was my SSI. Basically, I was told not to look for work if I want to find myself eligible for SSI. I need not work. So she was like, all right, well, how about we talk about the pros and cons of what comes about when you're on SSI. And I was like, all right, I can, you know, take that home and do that homework for her, for myself. But I need to cross the street. No, I don't need to cross the street. But anyway, so it was a good therapy session. You know, I like how she structures it. And we just kind of got to the crux of what it is that I could explain to her about what exactly is that feeling that comes when I don't want to work, or whenever it is that I find myself anticipating something and not necessarily being able to tell myself to do it or what have you. And it was helpful, very helpful. I think we're getting somewhere quickly. And I think she had a chance to understand some things. We talked a little bit about Kay and just that whole thing. I didn't name Kay, but I told her there was a friend of mine that I had probably been dependent on her energy a bit more than what would be healthy for myself. And we talked about what that entailed and how that, you know, in a vague way about just what I was expecting in regards to her energy and how that what that looked like throughout the course of the time of that dependency was developed. And so we didn't really get into that very much, but it is what it is, man. And for me, I'd probably need to speak to somebody for like 5 or 6 hours a day, you know what I mean, to try to really get to the crux of my mind and how I actually operate. But ultimately, I think at the end of the day, I was able to get somewhere with her, and I think she has some things to kind of understand about myself that maybe would not have been present without this conversation. So I think it was more about her learning just the surface areas, levels of my brain, and then she'll find more. She'll realize how deep it runs. But you know, I think the most important thing for me was just getting her an understanding that working isn't the problem. Going to work is the problem, and there's a difference, you know, because this right here is work. Laker videos, work. Art, work. Playlists, work. I work. There's no consistent hours to it, but I'm a creative. And artists don't have that necessarily worked into the way that we work. But when I was looking at some of the things that I've done, I work. I just don't get paid for my works. But that can change. And so that's what I'm hopeful to find is ways of networking, maybe getting a little more comfortable within my own skin to network some. Maybe getting outside of my comfort zone as it pertains to going to certain places to market myself. That's what I'm hopeful to find. That's the goal, is to just get out of this routine of being alone, staying alone, and indicating the consequences of that. And so if I can find the answers that I'm looking for in that regard, I think I can win these battles. I can really win these battles and ultimately start to put myself in a position to have the things that ultimately I do not have, for which I definitely want. So that's really what it's about, man. Looking for that process from which healing can be found, and finding a way to professionally name what it is that I've been going up against, what it is I feel that has been coming up against me. So that's what it was with Lydia. And then I spoke with the caseworker after that, and she just gave me an understanding of what I can expect in regards to having my housing situation straightened out. If she has anything for me in regards to housing, those type of questions were asked, and you know, see if I was eligible for certain things, put me in a position to be eligible for those things, and more or less just more, find myself in a position for which she could really, kind of answer some of those questions that were technical in nature. In regards to GR, I know the process of what we can do. She can help me apply for Section 8 and the various different things that come with Section 8 through her program. She told me about GR and what their program is. So I just got some answers. There's something called a pilot program where you can find housing through GR. So it's little stuff like that. It was very helpful. And I got another appointment with her that I scheduled the same day as my next therapy session. I'm tripping. I gotta pay for that. And it looks like I'm gonna have to put some more money on this thing. I thought I'd take care of that. Oh, whatever. At any rate, so that's pretty much the situation, man. More or less getting answers for my questions and more or less having things work out in the way that I was hopeful they would in regards to the caseworker. So I'm feeling fulfilled. I like what they offer. I'm looking forward to next session on the 13th. Hopefully I can find housing before then or get in that pilot program before then. And that's pretty much it, man. I could go down to the housing authority right now since I'm so close to it. But I honestly don't want to do that. I'm ready to go home and eat. But I will be giving them a call tomorrow. And if for some reason it makes sense to come back down here, I'll do that. So that's really it, man. I'd say this was a good process for myself. Good therapy session, good caseworker conversation, good everything that you would ultimately want in regards to that. So it's pretty much it, man. My name is BDO44. Thank you all for watching.